Microban. Yo, yo, yo.
In Anaheim flows from 57 to Green River. Imagine a photograph of your favorite place in California. Then right in the middle of it, one piece of litter. Litter has no place in our lives, not one piece. Together, let's change that. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Come to at KBLA Talk 1580. We fight the power every day. Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey! I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they tell them. So we get it. Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't.
Everybody hit that like button.
Freedom of steps. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane. Got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
So I accidentally put my lunch and my margarita on my business card, which means now I have to make it a tax write-off, so that's what this video is for. Hey, it's Brian and Bo from the Money Guy Show. The team has put together some tax videos, but I'll be honest, what we did get out of them is not necessarily good stuff. But I am so excited because I love that we can speak into what's good and what's not out there on the internet to help you do money better. So with that, let's dive in.
It's only one car you buy, and the rest you lease. 150,000 Range Rover, it weighs 6,000 pounds. Section 179 IRS says anything over 6,000 pounds, you can write off 100%. You could buy it on the 100%, write it off that year, even though you didn't even drive the car. Boom, $158,000, you get to write it off that day against your earned income. If you have self-employment money or an LLC producing other income. I would pay cash for the Range Rover, we did. But the Cullinan that I have is a leased vehicle. I leased it with no money. I put it on a 24-month lease, never longer than that. Whatever the payment is, if you can't handle that payment, don't do it. And then every 24 months, I trade that car in. Why do I do a lease rather than own? Because I can write off 100% of that lease payment every month against my business income.
Grant is one of those guys, he throws out some good stuff, but he also throws out some stuff that's got a lot of shades of gray.
Lots of gray.
And when he's spot on that, look, when a vehicle weighs over 6,000 pounds, it's one of those little quirks of the tax code that now qualifies as a piece of equipment or machinery that you can accelerate the depreciation through that section 179. The part he's failing to mention when he says 100% deductible is that it's going to make you track the mileage, and you're going to have to compare what's business use, what's personal use, and so forth. And for a lot of people, it's hard to reach 100%. First of all, you can't even consider this unless it exceeds 50%. So the fact that he says you don't even have to drive it unless you're making YouTube videos or other things like grants, maybe he's got some way that he can justify it. But if you're running just a small business, I don't know that it necessarily works for you. Who wants to have an auto payment every single month for as long as you exist? He said, I'm going to lease it for 24 months, no more, and I'm just going to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You know what's better than that, in my opinion? Buy a reasonable, affordable car today, pay cash for it, have no payments, drive that car for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and don't be wasting money on the automobile. Yeah, so what if it's 100% deductible? Because
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason back in the building. You already know what it is. New week, more topics. And it's tax season. Before I introduce my special guest for today, don't forget, I need everybody to go get those tickets. The tickets are selling. Get the tickets now while there's still tickets to be got. Of course, myself and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, and I are doing a relationship roundtable where we're bringing the insight and the expertise of clinicians and comedians together. It's going to be a unique night at the Miracle Theater, May 31st, 7 p.m. You should go to I think it's themiracleinglewood.com. That is the website. Go there, click events, scroll down. You'll see me and Ray Grady for May 31st. Buy your tickets now. Get them now because tickets are moving rather quickly. Now, on to my guest. You've heard his commercials here. You've heard him on the show several times. I think this is his third time on. This is my friend. This is somebody I know personally. Someone who's helped me personally. Brother Charles T. Almond is in the building to answer your tax questions. We are in tax season. Brother Charles, how are you?
Happy middle of tax season, so doing good on the East Coast. How about you?
Man, I'm alive and well. We got a little bit of time. And you saw that or you heard that first clip where they were breaking down some of Grant Cardone's ideas about taxes. How does a couple that are social media influencers that get money from different revenue streams, how are they to maximize their taxes as a couple? Maybe they're married, maybe they're not. How do they separate that stuff and actually, get the most from the IRS during tax season in that type of mixed relationship? What are your thoughts?
If it's an avalanche, if they're really kicking it, if they're doing $300,000-$400,000 a year, they need to consider a C corporation. Don't take it on a 1040. Taking it on a 1040, taking it straight up the nose. You come away with two black eyes on the tax rate. They just need to put the entity consideration before the taxes consideration. So if they do a C corp, which is a smart, flat tax way to go, then they have to send W-9s out to the payors, to all the sponsors that they're involved with, that they're cash flowing off of, and have them send the 1099s every year to their C Corp, flat tax it, and leave it off their 1040. That's the best route possible. Go for the lowest tax.
It seems that do you think it's a good idea to even get in a relationship with someone on a business side and then that business relationship turns intimate unless you guys are looking to be married? Do you think that's a good idea? Should you get into business with someone before actually marrying them? Because I just feel like the marriage is a business, but if you guys are not married and you're in business and you get intimate, they say don't mix the two. Wouldn't that be problematic?
Yes, and it proves to be problematic. But guess what? Somebody who's been 40 plus years in the business could tell you a basic way to think. If you've got two seasoned professionals, late 40s, early 50s, they've been killing it, they're good at what they do, I think there's a relatively low risk for them to combine. In marriage or out of marriage, combine business interests into one entity or have a joint venture between two entities. I see very little risk because they're seasoned, they're adults, they know what they're doing, they've got enough money to pay advisors to know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You take two 25-year-old influencers,
Ooh.
I think you're looking for trouble because as they're growing up, they're going to disagree about more and more things. Money really turns. I would tell you the older you get, money has less influence over your life and your opinions and what's important because you're settled in. You're settled into a norm. You know what you're doing. Everything's good. When you're 25, 30, is it Ferrari or Lamborghini? And if
Right.
partner wants a Ferrari and you get the Lamborghini, well, it's just gone the wrong way.
So what happens if you're not married and you fall out with this person that you've established a C Corp with? What is the best way to end things in that kind of breakdown amicably? What is the best way?
A prenup in a C Corp is a shareholders agreement. If you get a shareholders agreement, which everybody advises you to do, even on the internet when you get your entity charter, they talk about your articles of incorporation. Everybody should have them. They're free. Go on the internet. You've got 38 flavors of operating agreements, of articles of incorporation. These basic rules, you decide what everybody's happy, everybody's walking down the aisle, so to speak, with this business notion, venture, opportunity to cash flow and to make good money. Put it in the articles while everybody's happy, and then if it goes sour, then everybody lives by how it was in the early days, and everybody gets out alive.
Wow.
Everybody gets out alive.
Everybody gets out alive is the best way. Can you do me a favor and let the audience know where they can find you? We play your commercial every single day for the past month and a half now. I love hearing the commercial. It's one of those old school commercials. But can you explain what it is that you do and how people can get in contact with you right now?
My firm has created a moving sidewalk through IRS tax debt. In one day, you can have, I don't care how much tax debt, you can have $10,000, $100,000, $1 million of tax debt. Come to taxclosure.org. That's who we are. That's what we're doing right now. And for one small flat rate, $1,000, you can't hire an attorney to tell you what time it is for $1,000. But for one 42 years of experience is going to tell you how to eliminate, to settle, to get your tax debt under control, walk away with a smile on your face every time. We've operated for 42 years, so we're the only firm in America that has zero complaints. Look at all these other people that are advertising. Their complaints are in the hundreds and in the thousands. I'm telling you, you come to taxclosure.org with an IRS tax debt, You're going to go through it in about 60, 75 minutes, and you're going to want to throw a party and start kissing good-looking girls, and girls start kissing good-looking guys.
And you know what's crazy? Let me just say, I think you told me this before. There's like 100 million people in America that have tax debt. Is that true?
That is true. You know, now, the one thing, if you go to the library and try to catch me, you can't catch me because I'm also including the underground economy. Nobody's logged the underground economy. IRS has to go to Congress every year, and every commissioner of IRS says, well, we figure there's about 10%. Well, I don't agree with that. I think it's 3 times that. So I'm taking a realistic view of what's going on in America because I have a vantage point of helping more people with their tax problems than any other firm, if by no other reason by our longevity. And I would tell you, you add in all of the people that haven't filed their taxes years ago, today, this year, when it's due on April 15th, if they just don't file, they fall into the underground economy. So if you add those 2 things, you take the above ground economy, everybody that's filing a tax return, and they should, and God bless them, and the ones that aren't, you add it up, it's 100 million people owe the IRS.
Wow.
And there's 100 million people I'm out there to help because I don't care if you filed or not filed. You go out and file a tax return, go to any of these tax preparers. Just get some tax returns filed. File them. IRS is going to send you a bill. When you get your bill, go to taxclosure.org. And IRS, 9 times out of 10, will waive collection. You can owe $37,000, you can owe $75,000. 9 out of 10 times, IRS will grant a waiver of your payment. 10% of the time, you'll get the lowest pay plan authorized by U.S. law. So you can't lose. There's no lose here.
Wow. I'd love to hear it. If you guys have any questions for my good friend Charles T. Allman, just call in. You already doing your taxes, right? I know you're doing your taxes, or you already did your taxes, or you're just getting started, or you... If you have any questions, you might want to call him right while we have him on for the first hour. The second hour, we have a totally different topic, but I wanted to bring Charles on because I told him I would, and it's tax season. So it's important that we use this resource to get some understanding around taxes, because a lot of people, might not feel comfortable doing their taxes, or might be behind, might be embarrassed. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we'll be asking Charles some more questions, and you have an opportunity to do the same. Call us.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that...
What up, y'all? Hey, thank you, Herschel. Y'all like, what is this topic about? It's about taxes, which is important. Call in. I know y'all got some tax questions. And if not, y'all just gonna hover, wait till the second hour. Okay, I see what you do. I don't know what that was. Sorry. I apologize. What up, what up, what up? Everybody hit that like button. Come on. Uh-huh. What up?
Learned about finance is backwards from how it really is. You've been taught, as was I, as was Sterling, earn more money. The more money you earn, the more power or influence or ability to get rich that you can have. That's not true. The more money you earn, the more it's taxed.
I was thinking about the health insurance deduction, and maybe we could talk a little bit about how that works if people have different options, like if they have a C Corp or a sole proprietorship or an LLC, because there's different rules around the actual insurance itself, correct?
Yes, and because this is where, if you're a business owner, you get to double dip. And we always are talking about how the tax code is not. Thanks, Kenny. I see that. The tax code is not set up in a way that's just, it goes up if you make more money. It's not set up so that, rich people don't pay tax. That's not actually true. Rich people pay the highest, worst case tax if they're not structured correctly. And most rich people know better than to actually make money. That's why they don't pay tax.
Wow.
If you don't make money, you don't pay tax. That's kind of how it goes. So the benefit of the tax code always comes to makers in the economy. And makers are people who are creating jobs, who are making widgets, who are benefiting the economy. Takers are the people who have jobs and don't benefit the economy, and they're always going to get hammered with taxation. So when we start talking about, as we have been continuing to talk in this podcast about how do we stack cash without having to hand it over to the IRS, to the taxes, look, everything that you've learned about finance is backwards from how it really is. You've been taught, as was I, as was Sterling, hey, earn more money. The more money you earn, the more power or influence or ability to get rich or whatever wealthy that you can have. But folks, that's not true. The more...
Man, I'm on here with my good friend Charles T. Allman. Charles, did you hear that clip? What are your thoughts?
He got a lot of things right.
What did he get right and what did he get wrong?
He got right that it's exorbitantly expensive to climb the tax bracket as an individual 1040 filer.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about having a C Corp, going into a C Corp, getting that flat tax, and then if you're doing $10 million a year, or you're doing $20 million a year, you're paying a flat tax.
Mm.
If you throw that on a 1040, you're gonna bleed, my brother.
You're gonna bleed, is what you said?
You're gonna bleed.
Wow.
Choose the right way to take the money. That's fundamental. That should be taught in grade school.
He basically said we were taught in reverse. Go get as much money
Yes.
as you can. But really, it's how you position that money. Is that it?
How you receive it is how you're going to end up paying it out.
Wow. How you receive it is how you're going to end up paying it out? Please expound more on that.
Well, again, choose your entity. Be tax wise. No, cut your cloth. If you at a certain level, it's good to go ahead and take it as individuals. But there's a point of equilibrium, and any CPA or attorney or some very experienced tax practitioners can do. They can take your facts and circumstances, put it on a yellow sheet of paper, and tell you, we're going to keep you on your 1040 Schedule C, and everything's fine until you get to this point. Then we're going to put you in a new entity that's going to take the money in under the new entity, and you're never going to see the income in your 1040 again, except when you date it in. When you decide how much you want to throw on that 1040, it's your choice, it's your option, it's your discretion, and that's the maximum tax-wise way to do it.
Wow. This is heavy stuff. Now, let's just shift really quickly. What if I'm a social media influencer, right? And I have multiple streams of income, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of these different places. What tax forms do I need to use for my income as a social media influencer if I have all of these multiple streams?
In the very beginning, I mean, year 1, 2, 3, and 4, probably you're going to do Schedule C. But again, once you get a little heavier income, once you get up there where you're going to crest $1 million of gross receipts, and influencers can do that in year 2. And they can when they catch on fire, they catch on fire.
Right.
And if they're on fire, then that's when they need to change the recipient from themselves to their C Corp and let it ride.
Change the recipient from your person to a corporation.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Now, I'm sure many people are hip to that at this stage of the game. But like you said, sometimes when you take off, and a lot of social media folks, they will take off and skyrocket up, there's a big payment at the end of that fiscal year, right? When it's time to do your taxes, you find, I did $4 million this year. How much of that goes to the government?
If it's on a Schedule C on a 1040, I think the maximum tax rate is around 37% right now versus a corporation is at 21%.
Wow.
That's why you don't need to wait until March or April of every year to get your wake-up call. If you've got that kind of cash flow, you need to have a professional relationship with a CPA or somebody who's really experienced in the tax trade. I'm not going to give all the business to CPAs.
Don't give all the business. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere, Charles. You're cooking right now. When we come forward, if you have questions from my good friend Charles T. Allman, now's the time to call him 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it. What up, Sam? Maria, what up? I guess you guys, let me just ask a question. Have all of you guys gotten your taxes taken care of? Have all of you guys gotten your taxes taken care of? It's going great, Maria. And you not calling? Oh my God. I be bringing in free fucking support. Okay, don't use it. What up, Question H? What up in Zing? I ain't seen you in a couple of days. What up? 5150, nigga. But nah, not yet. This, I don't, yeah, okay. What up? What up? There's nothing wrong. I'm surprised because there's nothing wrong. Leave us. What up? Everybody hit that like button. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Protection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future.
We got 3 minutes before our next break, or before we come back live. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, hold on. Yes. Hey, who saw the Zoe Morning Show earlier today? Hopping on here again, watching and listening. What up, Tony Warner? Sir, wish I had the extra cash to send, just barely making it as it is. Much. Hey, man, don't even trip. You good, Tony? Y'all catching fools. I'm trying to see. What up? Nell Fox 333. Y'all catching them so fast. I'm like, what the? Y'all see, your brother was struggling this morning. I listen to you on Apple Podcasts every day like you're my personal therapist. I'm wondering, Shady Dave, is it good conversation? You should call in and share your thoughts. You really should. Shady Dave, you should call in and share your thoughts in terms of, because I don't know what the impact or the effect of the podcast means to you. But if you're learning from it, if it's up leveling your thought about relationships, man, you should share that, because a lot of people, might be inspired by hearing you. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580.
couple years ago and paid off my house. So thank you.
Way to go.
Your advice. So very exciting.
How's that feel?
So really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
What's the house worth?
Years. So we bought our house for $322, and now it's worth over $700.
Yeah, love it.
So yeah, super exciting. So a couple years out, and now I'm doing pretty well, thinking about my future. I've got 2 children. I'm married, and I pay a tremendous amount of money on taxes. And just wanted to know, are there any strategies that I can use to mitigate that or make my money work for me and my family and our future?
Move out of New York is fun.
I know.
That may not be a viable option.
You were going to say that.
Yeah, that's the smart aleck. I know, it's a southerner joke. I apologize. It's insensitive is actually what it is, because you live there.
No, I agree with that. I wish I could.
There you go. Okay, so the thing a mistake that people make when we get mad about taxes, and I'm as mad as anybody about taxes, I hate them. But the mistake that we can make is we start doing things that don't make good business sense or economic sense, all in the name of saving taxes. Okay? You don't want to do that. Okay? So don't get so motivated by this that you get yourself in trouble. So, you get yourself into some bad...
I want to pay my fair share, not 52%.
No, that's not the point. It's not about your fair share. No, anybody that pays federal income tax pays more than their fair share, because 48% of the people in the United States of America pay 0 federal income tax. That is not fair.
Very interesting. We got our guy on the line, Charles T. Allman. Charles, is that correct? 48% of people don't pay taxes?
I don't think you could find that printed anywhere, so you take it from there.
That's why I got you on the show, Charles. Listen, so social media people, such as myself, social influencers, we might get gifts. Are they deductible, or are there any deductions available for influencers, right? And if so, how can they claim them?
Yeah, there's a golden rule. It's Section 212 in the Internal Revenue Code. And anybody that's worth their salt helping you prepare taxes should know it. And if they don't know any other statutes in the Internal Revenue Code, they should know Section 212. And it states simply, any expense incurred in the production of income is a tax deduction.
That's it.
Just go build your barn on Section 212, and you asked me particular. Sometimes there's some rules to the write-off, like can you buy center court seats and give them away?
No.
The people you're doing business with, yeah.
Oh, really?
Family, friends, and neighbors, it's no. All you have to do is make sure that the business purpose, and you've got the world by its tail.
I love it. I love it. Charles T. Allman, can you give us your website one more time, bro?
We're at taxclosure.org, and if anybody out in your listening audience owes the IRS money, they need to run, not walk, to taxclosure.org and get in good standing today.
All right, we got somebody on the line from Orlando, Florida. David from Orlando, Florida. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, man, to be 1,000% honest with you, I didn't even hear the topic. It's just a pleasure and honor just to be on the phone with you.
Oh.
I think I chatted to you. You told me to call that, man.
Yeah.
It saved my life mentally and spiritually. One of my closest friends who's going through a lot of mental hurdles spiritually, ironically, is the one that put me on to you, man. I remember the first time I heard your show when you mentioned Krishnamurti.
Krishnamurti, yeah.
Yeah. Krishnamurti went into different topics and different walks of faith, and it was so just seamless and not intimidating and not coming from a place of critique. You feel like the uncle everybody wants.
Hey, brother, I appreciate that.
you know?
I appreciate that, brother. I really do, David. Man, listen, man, I'm here Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can call in anytime, brother, and chop it up with me. You know that, right?
Yeah, so that's love, man. I genuinely appreciate you. Of course, like a lot of callers say, I feel like I already know you just because I listen to you every day, and your wisdom speaks right, not to me, but through me.
Ah, wow. Thank you, brother. That means a lot. Guess what you just did, David?
What I do, sir?
You brought Orlando, Florida in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. Big up, David. We appreciate it. Now back to the topic, because I'm learning here. I brought my guy on here to teach me about some of the pitfalls, because I'm talking to people at the cigar lounge daily, and I'm asking them questions about taxes, and a lot of people seem to be very, I guess, nervous around this time. And let me just say, if you have a corporation, a lot of people feel like they won't get a return. Is that always the case? And how do you, I don't want you to get into specifics, but, well, kinda I do. How do you make sure that you get a return even if you're on a Schedule C, or, your corporation is taking in the money and not the individual? Talk to me about that.
Well, let's use the right word. You're talking about refund.
Ah.
Return. Everybody says return, but the word is refund. Okay?
Refund. Let's go.
Okay, so nobody gets a refund unless they put money in Uncle Sam's pocket.
Talk to us. Come on.
Okay, you're going to put money in Uncle Sam's pocket because you're a W-2 employee and the employer wage withholds at the source. All the employers take money out of your paycheck. That's the difference between what your gross paycheck and your net paycheck is. But two-thirds, as you know, Zoe, two-thirds of America's 1099.
Right.
And the reason that none of these 1099, two-thirds of America are not getting refunds is because they're not paying in estimated tax. Nobody's paying in estimated tax. Are you supposed to? Yes. But the government prints a report every year. IRS prints a report called a tax data report. Sends it to Congress, House Ways and Means, Senate Finance Committee, and reports on all the activity for the year prior, for the fiscal year. And never in the history of America has there been more than 8% of Americans making estimated tax. So you do the math. Two-thirds of America are making 1099 non-withheld income, and only 8% of them, give them academically, the whole 8% of the two-thirds of the self-employed individuals, 1099 workers, are making estimated tax payments. Nobody's getting refunds. Nobody's getting refunds because there is no refund unless you pay more money into the IRS as an estimated tax than you actually owe. And I can't tell you that I know anybody, and we've handled more taxpayers' cases than anybody in America. I can't tell you anybody who's a 1099 wage earner making estimated tax and getting a refund. It just doesn't happen.
Wow, that's heavy. We got a lot of questions. People are asking questions now. They're asking questions about, well, I'm going to ask the question, but we're going to answer it on the other side. And people are asking, how does child support adversely affect your taxes? We've heard that Donald Trump was proposing that the person who pays child support now gets to write the child off. Now, of course, that's just a proposal. It's not law yet, but I want to know, how does child support adversely affect your taxes? When we come forward, more from Charles T. Ullman. We cooking. I want to say thank you to Davy Lee. Davy Lee sent me a Cash App. Thank you. Thank you, brother Davy Lee. Can we all shout out Davy Lee? Can we all shout out Davey Lee? Can we shout out Davey Lee? Thank you, Davey Lee, for the Cash App. If you guys want to use the Cash App, you can too. We're about to transition. We have 13 minutes left, or 12 minutes left. We're about to transition into our next topic. Strap your seatbelts on. It's not going to be cute. And who is the brother who just called in? Bro, this is the topic we're about to transition into. This is the topic you should have called in on, because now we're about to get into it. We need more ugly top. What? Who's the brother that just called in? Is he still in here? That's funny. What up, Herschel? Shady Dave, come on. This is the topic you should call in on and ask questions about. Yeah. What up, Herschel? Live in 30. Everybody hit that like button.
Share with you a few tips on how to avoid taxes legally. My name is Brian Kim. My legal disclaimer is I am a certified public accountant, so I'm a CPA. I do encourage you to speak with your accountants. If you don't have one, then I hope you enjoy this free information. Before we begin, I do have a request. If I help you save money with this video, then my request is that you enjoy the money. Treat yourself out, help someone else out. The way I see it, I'm just happy that the money stays in your hands. It's better than having the IRS have your money, right?
What?
If you're making under $400,000 a year, this video is going to be perfect for you. That's because the reason why I'm saying that is if you make over $400,000 a year, then you can utilize more tax tricks. There's more tricks that are available to you.
I don't like it. When I hear the word tricks, I go right to Charles. Charles, there are no tax tricks, are there?
Yeah, the guy that's talking about tax tricks today is being tricked in jail tomorrow.
That's what I'm thinking, Charles. I was like, what? Tax tricks? No, there are no tricks.
You can't outrun karma.
This is our final 10 minutes, and I want to make sure we ask some really good questions. First and foremost, tell people your website again. We play your commercial every day right here on the Voice of Reason. But I want people to really engage with you because I got a chance to work with you and you're a solid guy. And I don't endorse just anybody. People who know me know I'm very persnickety about the people I associate with. And Charles T. Almond is good in Zoe Williams' book. So, how do they get in contact with you? Number one.
It's taxclosure.org, and the biggest thing I can help your audience to know, and two-thirds of your audience is going to be all the way down the line, independent 1099 workers, is if you go to tax closure, if you owe money when your tax return's prepared, you have a choice. There's a crossroad. If you go left or right, you got a choice. There's a branch in the road. If you owe any amount of money, if you owe $7,500 on this year's tax, if you owe $17,000 or $75,000, you don't have to write IRS a check. When you send in your return, they're going to have a notice of balance due. You send in a tax closure form, and it's got equal dignity to the payment. Save your money, send in a form. Both the form and payment get you in good standing. Tax closure forms or cash. Most people are going to say, I'd rather send in a form than take the cash out of the bank. In both ways, you do a tax closure form or you send in a check. What do you think people are going to do, so?
They're going to send in the form. That's what they're going to do. They're going to send in the form. And for people who don't know, Charles was educated at Emory University. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. Emory School of Law.
So Charles is not a lightweight in this game. He's already told you he's been in business for 42 years. So this is why I've brought him onto the show to answer your questions. But many people, I think, are a little nervous to call in and ask those questions. But I'll ask for you. How do I keep track of my expenses related to social media activity? So if I have all of these different accounts, should I just turn all of that stuff over to a CPA, or should I just divvy out this information as it comes to me? What do you think?
You're living by a magnetic strip. That's how everybody's paying their bills. One way or another. You're going to magnetic click to pay. Every click to pay is going to hit a bank account or it's going to hit your plastic card. You surrender all your click to pay accounts, whether it's just pure credit card or a debit card on bank accounts, over to your CPA or your tax preparer, and then they can just look at 12 different sheets of paper and cherry pick almost everything. Because you tell me, other than having a daily piece of bread, everything you do is for business.
Wow. So what if I'm unmarried? Can I claim a girlfriend, or can a girlfriend claim a boyfriend on their taxes as a dependent?
No, and you can't claim your pets either.
I mean, because people try any little trick, right?
Yeah, and the stupid ones are going to get the whiplash. I mean, whether you hit somebody in the back or they hit you in the back, there's going to be whiplash. You do something that stupid on a tax return, I guarantee whiplash.
But, okay, so the IRS does recognize domestic partners, though, right?
Yeah, as so far as you do married filing joint or married filing separate. That's the only place where it's relevant.
So
how you file, your status of filing. That's it. There's no other implication.
So is there ever a time a married couple should file separately?
Yes, when there's disproportionate income. If you yourself, like you are this really heavy influencer making lots of zeros, and you marry a woman that's a librarian and she's $12,000 a year, you're going to be in a much higher tax rate than a librarian's going to be at $12,000 a year. So yes, you'll file married filing separate every time when there's large disproportionate income differences. Always file married filing, because then you're bringing her into the high income brackets. You don't want the lower earning spouse to pay your higher income, so you file married filing separate.
Wow.
That's why it's there. That's why it's there.
Huh. I'm learning tonight. I hope you guys are learning. This is Charles T. Allman. I definitely want you guys to go to his website. One more time, the website, because I want people to hear from you. One more time, what is the website?
Taxclosure.org, and we are the moving sidewalk for IRS debt. Anybody that owes the IRS money, they come in taxclosure.org same day. They leave in good standing, and their tax is resolved.
Hey, Charles, let me just say this, man. I really appreciate you coming in today. This was great. Listen, up next, we got another topic. It's going to be fire, so do not change the dial. Hey, Charles, anytime you want to come back, you let me know. We set it up. We make it happen. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Brother Joe. We'll talk next time.
All right, my friend. Hey, listen, the voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. But when we come back, we're going to shift gears. We're going into a totally different topic. Classic voice of reason. I'm not letting you off the hook. I gave you the tax information. Now it's time for the spirit information. Don't run from me. Don't run from me now. All right, it's time for that spirit work. Let's get that spirit work. When we come forward, the voice of reason will reveal what we'll be talking about tonight. Let's get it. Compton. Straight out of Compton. What up, what up, what up? Y'all ready? Let's get it. I gave you the tax info. Now let's get this real work. Get to the phone lines. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get to your phone lines. Tap that, hit the like button, share it. We're about to get into a classic VOR topic. So let's go. Let's go. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the love. If you're going to hit the super chat, it's the little $sign down at the bottom of the chat. You could hit that, or you could shoot it straight to my Cash App. Please support, support, support. Show your love for Brother Zoe. We're about to get into it. Hour number 2. Willie Johnson, what up, what up, what up? We got the week off. I feel much better than I felt earlier this morning. I was struggling during the Zoe Was show, for sure.
Trouble, I'm giving you a call. Has your soulmate become your soulmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
I love this heavy shit. The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like the kid. Is this going to be roll up there?
I'm pregnant. Trail has been committed. Hit you with a bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his humosity?
I like it when it pinches my lip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They're going to show their weaknesses. Yeah.
So well.
So will your region there is inattention, and there is no attention. Right? If I give complete attention to fear, it doesn't exist. But my brain has been conditioned not to give attention to this reaction. When you have sexual feelings, right? If one realizes that one is in a prison, that prison created by oneself being the result of the past, parents, grandparents, so on and so on, inherited, acquired, imposed.
Another Chris Martin.
It's all.
I know y'all complain about his accent, that heavy accent. He said freedom, or no, he said fear, right? It basically disappears when you give complete attention, right? And what does that have to do with our second topic of the night? So I was in the lounge, of course. That's my little think tank over in Inglewood. I sit in the lounge and smoke cigars and pontificate and ruminate on spiritual ideas and concepts. And I was in a very engaging conversation with a young lady. And she was asking about inner work. And then a brother jumped in and it became a very passionate discussion. And then they asked me, what did I think? And that's what led to today's topic. People don't understand what inner work is. Tonight's topic, the inner work quiz. A deeper look at what it actually takes to engage, right? Yourself, right? This inner work that is required for us to evolve and grow. Now, you have people out there making a distinction between healing and growing. I don't necessarily make the distinction. Healing, if we look at it up from an etymological perspective, healing just means whole. Growing is evolving, changing, and I think they're both good. I think they're interchangeable to some degree in context of how a person overcomes what's going on inside of them. But a lot of people are confused as to what inner work is and how to get started and what it means. The inner work quiz, right? Can Bruce Lipton's epigenetic research explain how maternal stress methylates OXTR genes in daughters, forcing relational bargaining as biological destiny? What? So, yes, listen. What you fail to realize is anything that happened to you in childhood, you modeled. And if you modeled it in childhood, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, it becomes a part of how you create expectations for your adult partners, right? Do unresolved arguments emit 7.83 hertz of Schumann resonance frequencies, according to Thomas Campbell? Entangling partners in karmic recursion loops. A lot of people don't understand any of this, but yes, it happens. Anything that is negative creates a pattern. And once a pattern is created, we would go on to repeat those patterns. So how do we heal it? If parentified children emit 10 hertz alpha waves, according to Hawkins, you guys know who Hawkins is? Stephen Hawkins, right? One of the greatest cosmologists of all time, right? According to Hawkins' apathy during conflict, does this frequency bind them to ancestral betrayal via quantum non-locality? I know it's all heavy talk, but let me just throw that out. How do I engage in inner work? Krishnamurti gave you the answer in the first clip. That's why we put it as the top clip. The first thing that needs to be done is you have to pay total attention to the issue. You have to focus on the issue, not on the person. Many times we focus on the person that we want to come in. We don't focus on the person that is within. Listen to what I'm saying. If you know that you and your mother have an issue that has never been dealt with fully, if you know that you and your father have an issue that has never been dealt with fully, and I'm talking about from childhood, you have to know there are going to be some kind of responses or reactions in your adult relationship when triggered that come from that space. Right? You have to know that. So what happens is we fantasize the perfect person. Oh, they're going to come and they're going to make it all good. And they're going to know how to handle me. Right? Because one of the things we'll do is we will label ourselves as misunderstood by others because we refuse to understand ourselves. Meaning, you know that there is something in your spirit that requires what Krishnamurti called total attention. Now, Krishnamurti's first point, he said, if you focus intently, without judgment, on fear, it dissipates. Because you're scared of fear, you don't want to focus on fear. Listen, because you're afraid of fear, you don't want to focus on it. So you try to evade it, which strengthens fear. Do you see? No, Murti is saying, when you look fear in the eye, like you look a bully in the eye, when you stand up for yourself, your truth, your reality as you are, when you claim yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, when you do all of that without judgment, intently, right? The barrier that you created disappears. It dissipates. Do you understand? Right? I'm trying to give you guys this breakdown. Inner work is about looking within, right? And not worrying about the judgments that come from without. The prejudices that come from without. See, inner work is a scary place for those who really, listen to what I'm about to say, who really don't like themselves. Self-rejection leads to, listen, self-rejection leads to unnecessary protection. What, Zoe? Yes. When you reject yourself, now you're in defensive mode the whole time. I got to protect myself from everybody. That's because you've rejected yourself. When you accept yourself as you are, you start resonating at a different level. When you love your dark, your ugly, your shadow, your brokenness, right? You start to emit love. So now you're no longer afraid of love. When you reject yourself, there's no self-love, so there can't be the love of others coming in. The love of others coming in looks like an attack. Do you see? Do you see? Inner work is necessary. But when we say work, what happens is we think treadmill. When we say work, what happens is we think barbells. We think we got to lift. We got heavy lift. No, it's actually sitting, observing, without self-hate, without self-condemnation. The process of embracing yourself, right? Without tearing yourself down. Sometimes your idealized self is your greatest enemy. Did you hear what I said? Sometimes your idealized self is your greatest enemy. You're looking out into an aspect of time that doesn't exist, the future. When I get to this point, I can't wait until I get to this point. I can't wait until I achieve this, until I become this, until I do this. No. The way to become what you've always been is to accept who you always have been. You have to accept yourself as you are. They say, wait a minute, Zoe, that sounds confusing. Michael Jackson was always going to be Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan was always going to be Michael Jordan. You can never become something that you aren't already. The greatness is in you. It's about accepting the whole you that allows you to access parts of you. Are you listening? To access parts of you that you were destined to be. You can't do it if you're listening for approval outside of yourself. So approval becomes an inside job. This is the inner work. Self-acknowledgement, self-approval, self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, self-acceptance. Do you see? And this is not a narcissistic movement. This is not a thing to say, oh, you're narcissistic because you're... No, it's I accept me as a broken vessel. Start with brokenness. Then turn the broken pieces into pieces of art. Well, what makes them art? Self-actualization, self-realization, right? This makes it art. The cracks are now filled with the lacquer of self-love, with the lacquer of self-approval, self-acknowledgement, self-appreciation. If you didn't get it from your mother, don't look for it from your partner. It's not your partner's job to finish your mother's work. It's your job to finish your mother's work so you can manifest a whole partner because you've accepted your whole self. Do you see? Do you see? Inner work is the reason you're alive. It's the reason you manifested on this plane. You don't understand how important relationships are. Relationships, I've been saying from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, relationships are a spiritual classroom where the real you gets revealed to you. You got to claim everything that you would blame your partner for falling short of. You got to claim it all. Right? Anything you ignore internally that makes you sore will be the reverse of a self-pour. What are you saying, Zoe? You ignore it, makes you sore, hurts. You ignore what hurts. That's the reverse of pouring into oneself. Do you understand? You have to acknowledge that hurt. You have to embrace that pain. You have to love on it without judgment, with complete attention and empathy for yourself. I was having a conversation with a sister yesterday, and the sister started sweating. I just was asking basic questions. She started sweating. I said, "You're sweating. What's going on?" She said, "Brother, no one has ever seen me before. You literally saw me. You heard me and you saw me." She started sweating. Do you understand? Do you, this is the inner work. We walk around, right? We live our lives walking around, hiding not only from other people, but hiding from ourselves. You think, and then at the same time, paradoxically, I deserve to be loved. It's a whole I deserve culture. I deserve to have the best love ever, but refuse to love on oneself. It's the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, please love me. But while in the process of rejecting oneself, while in the process of still being a manipulator, a controller, trying to contain things to protect wounds. Wounds must be exposed. Unhealed wounds are the roaches of your soul. They must be exterminated, right? If you let them fester, right? This is why we sit here and we expect so much of the people who come into our lives. The more you expect of your partner, the more unhealed you are. Listen, I'm going on record. I'm saying it. The more you expect your partner to regulate your emotions, provide, protect, and everything else, be there, support, cheer, the more unhealed you are. These are all branches of dependency. Yes, human beings love to bond. Yes, human beings want to bond. Yes, it's all good. But the bonding must not have this attachment to it. I appreciate it in this moment. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. You know, we have independence in our closeness. We have space in our togetherness. It's healthy, it's whole. Do you see? It's not, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what would happen. Do you understand? When we come forward, the voice of reason, I'm breaking down the inner work. Are you ready for this work? Let's get it. Let's get it. What'd you say, Nzinga? Nzinga said I like Charles and all, but what? What'd you say, Nzinga? Ah. Nzinga, what happened? What did I do? Nzinga said I like Charles, but hold on, pimp. Come on, get to your phone lines. Call me, call me, call me. Let's go. This is good, Zoe. I like Mr. Charles. You spitting. Y'all know I be on one. This actually could have been like a whole topic. Netflix. Hey, Nell Fox, thank you. We only got 2 Cash Apps today, but I appreciate it. Get to your phone. Way better than it. Exactly. It gets better if you call in and ask questions. This show is almost over. All right. Fuck it then. And question H on the Cash App. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Using the frame of self-improvement. Self-improvement is about fixing things. You can fix your body. You can fix your mindset. You can fix your goal. And you can get hooked on that growth and that problem-solving mode, can't you? But where this works against us is when you start looking at the self-healing mode. This is not about fixing.
It's not.
This is the opposite goal. Self-improvement's about fixing yourself. This is about realizing that you were whole and there was nothing to fix.
Come on.
Self-acceptance is realizing that you were never broken to begin with. And that maybe all the brokenness has been placed upon you. Did you come out of your mother's womb broken, insecure, viewing other people as further ahead or better than you? No. These are all learned. These are all programmed. And so sometimes we talk a lot about like reprogramming my subconscious mind and I just got to reprogram my mindset. Maybe you need to deprogram. And that's where shadow work, letting go, and attachment come in. Is realizing you're not something to fix. You're actually not broken. And you don't need to improve everything about yourself.
Hey, man. Hey, for real though. Homeboy cooking right there though. For real. Hey. He out here cooking. Yo. Don't you know that imperfection is the real perfection? Imperfection is the real perfection. I know you don't want to hear it put that way. Everything you've ever been through is designed for your highest good. Every single thing. That's in my 2015 book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick to the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. That's what I was talking about when I was using kintsukuroi, the practice of kintsukuroi as forgiveness. Kintsukuroi or kintsugi. It's talking about golden joinery. You know, when the pots are broken, you put them back together using gold dust. And now every crack in the pot has been beautified. Meaning you're more beautiful after having been broken. See, but pain makes it feel like, no, this is terrible. You can't see the beauty because of the pain. This is heavy stuff, man. This is heavy stuff. We got callers on the line. I want to get them in here right now. Carson from Gary, Indiana, from where Michael and them from. What up, Gary?
Yo, what's that word, bro?
Come on, man. What are your thoughts, man, on tonight's topic? Now, you know, no profanity. We on live radio. Yeah. Talk to me. Come on, man. You and Gary.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little lost, man. I'm trying to figure out what y'all was talking about, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I rock with you though, Zoe. You a real guy. You said some real stuff about relationships, about just real life stuff. So I want to chime in on that, but
so we talking about inner work. A lot of people are out here talking about inner work, and the guy that was just on just encapsulated what inner work is. It's not lifting weights. It's not meditating and forcing yourself. It's acceptance. It's accepting all the darkness in you. Get real. You from Gary? I know there's some darkness in you, bro. I know what Gary. I've been to Gary, Indiana. I've been there. I know what it's like. So tell me,
You know how treacherous it is.
it's treacherous over there. So talk to me. How do you how do you deal with whatever you went through in childhood, whatever happened, whatever heartbreak, brokenness, trauma, whatever? How do you deal with it?
Man, I feel like you got to go day by day. You know, it's like, I mean, you got to understand like what brought you to this point.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes it's hard to understand it because you feel like it's other people's fault. But once you get to a certain point, you understand it's on you too. Like you can't just blame your parents and your grandparents for like what you grew up through and stuff. Like what you got going on, that's part of it's on you too. Like.
Man, hey, listen, Carson, you don't understand how much wisdom is coming out of you right now. You spitting the truth. It's so you can, okay. You know, you said sometimes you want to blame, and then it's time to shift from blame to claim. So whatever they didn't finish, okay, you can say, all right, y'all put this on me. This is my work. But the moment you accept that work, and then you decide to say, hey, the buck stops here. My kids won't be raised the way y'all raised me. Or you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to reconcile this issue so I don't pass it on to further generations. Hey, Carson, don't go nowhere. You stay right there, brother, because you cooking. He done brought Indiana in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We cooking. Hey, Carson up here cooking. We got a real one on the phone. Hey, where my real ones? Where my day ones at? Y'all should be on the lines. Hey, you already know this part of the show is about to fly. Y'all should get on the phone. This is the time. Call me now. Carson cooking. P. Quan, hey, everybody shout out Quan P. Quan P sent us a cash app. Quan, what up, Quan? Whoop, whoop. Quan P up in this butt. Hey, Quan. Hey, Quan. Hey, Quan. Yo, Quan. Is tonight's topic banging for you, Quan? Hey, Quan. For real, though, Quan. Talk to me, Quan. We on one tonight, Quan. Holla at us, Quan. Let us know what's up. We out here tripping tonight, Quan. Quan out here throwing $10 on the nick. What up, Quan? Hey, we turned up. Don't y'all like it when I'm turned up? I know y'all don't like it when a nigga all melancholy. I'm turned up right now. No, dead ass. I asked God, I was like, man, I want to inspire people. We got 3 callers in. Them, man, motherfuckers like, yo, man, you inspire me, dog. I'm like, yo, hey, for real, though. We out here inspiring people's food. I got time today, cuz. Come on, Quan. Are you inspired by today's topic? Especially this second hour. On God, though. On God. Seriously, are you inspired? Tails. On Abraham, kinfolk. Jay, Zoe hit that lick. What? Hey, lovable Quan, straight up, though. Straight up, though, lovable. Now we're going to start calling her lovable. What up, lovable? On God, lovable. I need callers, though. Where are my callers? Come on, Suge Mac. You got us to $10, man. We at $10.99 on the super chat, man. Hey, Lovable, what up, though? On Lovables, though. Hey, did you guys like the dual topic format today? You tell me. Did you like the dual topic format today? Some people might like this topic better than the tax topic, for sure. Nell Fox 333. Yeah. It did flow seamlessly. It did flow seamlessly. No, for sure. Let us begin. What, where, why, or when. Explain like structures, okay? See, I'm not saying in fact, I'm kind of rational. Asking you who's more dramatic with this. The one, the black one, the pop, and I'll jump up to attack. Harris one is just together with a crew. Right up to the face and tissue.
Usually, when we're doing that work, that deep work, the kind of foundational work of knowing ourselves and overcoming ego, the analytical mind, the mind that doesn't necessarily overcome the ego, wants a lot of system, right? A lot of structure in order to know how to actually transcend this. And it thinks, how am I supposed to overcome this? Or it's seeing so many things and it gets overwhelmed. And in a way, that kind of thinking does still come from the same type of thinking that kind of got us lost in the first place, right? Because what is ego? What is an ego? How does it come about? It comes about from there's problems in the world or desires, and then we try to analyze and we try to think, how am I going to, achieve this thing or get this thing that I desire as an ego? And then we start analyzing, we start wanting.
Psychologically speaking, I just need you to hear what he's saying. I'm going to rephrase it. Achievement is not success. What, Zoe? What? See, that's our linear mind. I have to become this. I have to. Do you see? Achieving is not success, psycho-spiritually speaking. I don't think you guys... I'm going to come back to it. We got Carson, Gary, Indiana. Carson, I want you to give us your final thoughts on tonight's topic. Because listen, brother, you from a space, Midwest, Indiana, right next door to Chicago, right next to Ohio. And I mean, listen, it's all right, Cleveland, everything is right there. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I understand that area. Listen. How? Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. That's why I need you to share with me, because it takes a certain kind of mind to even listen to what it is I'm talking about. So we're on the same level, brother. There's no division between you and I. So the fact that you resonate with what I'm talking about, I'm saying, bro, how is it that you can get up every day with everything that's going on in your life? I don't even know what's happening 100%. I don't even know. But how do you get up every day and put one positive foot in front of the other? How do you accept yourself? How do you deal with whatever it is you've been through? And how do you take those steps to become better and better and better? Talk to me.
Like you said, you just gotta put that first foot forward. Like, you gotta think positive. And bro, you gotta understand that it's not gonna be quick. It's not, especially like coming from Gary, like being black and being from Gary, you gotta work like at least 1,000 times harder, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people be like, you gotta work 10 times harder, you know what I'm saying? But out here, you gotta go 100 times, 1,000 times harder, cause I mean, it ain't no gas for you. You just gotta understand, like, it's just one step at a time. Even if you're trying to better yourself by 1% a day, you gotta just do it. Can't give up on yourself. And bro, you gotta think big. Don't never think small. Don't think that it's cool to just be smoking, drinking, partying, because that's what's going on around. You know what I'm saying? Try to get these. Oh, well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you, because you giving up real good game. But let's get even realer. What are 3 thoughts, small thoughts, that hold you back, that you tell yourself? 3 small thoughts that you tell yourself that actually derail your progress. Because I know we all got those thoughts. I got some, but what are yours?
I feel like these thoughts are definitely one of them. Definitely these thoughts thinking like, you know, you got to try to keep up with these bops and stuff. Like, these women ain't talking about nothing for real. Like, so really, that's one thing I could say. Another thing I could say is feeling like you don't need nobody. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs a support system. Everybody needs a team. You got to have some solid guys, too, not just anybody. And then, like, the third thing I would say is searching for something that ain't there.
Ooh.
You got to understand.
Come on.
What's real is going to come to you. If it's real, it's going to come to you. You got to just understand, though, like trying to search for it, it's more than likely ain't gonna come that way. You gotta just be genuine, be yourself. Like I said, find good people that you need, people that need you.
Come on, man. I don't know if y'all heard what he said. Searching is the problem. Cause he said, stop looking for it. Oh, hey, Carson, let me just say, man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Guess what you just did, Carson?
Hey, I appreciate you, man. You one of the realest, man. You already know that.
Come on, man. Thank you, brother. Guess what you just did, friend? Oh, he don't know. Oh, you brought Gary, Indiana in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you gotta do is call me. Hey, Carson from Gary, Indiana was on complete fire. Hey, we just lost our what was her name? Johnny from
Asbury Park, New Jersey.
From New Jersey. Johnny, you gotta call back. I'm coming right to you. You gotta call back. But let me just get even deeper. This is very powerful stuff, right? Inner work is not, I want to demystify the term work. Inner work is not struggling with self, it's accepting self. Krishnamurti put it this way: the becoming still can never be the being still. Only with the death of becoming is there being. Wait, go back. I know it slapped you upside your dome piece. Let's say it again. The becoming still can never be the being still. Only with the death of becoming is there being. See, we so busy trying to do something to be better that we don't really know how to just be who we are. Acceptance of self as one is part of the process of self-realization. Self-expansion. You expand when you accept the shadow. You get bigger. You become integrated. A lot of people fear integration because they think the shadow is evil. But the shadow is the yin to the mask's yang. It is the polarity. It is the balance. You don't want balance. You want an idea to be you. An idea can't be the real. That's why I tell women, don't date the ideal, date the real. But men are conditioned to be fake because fake works. Fake, let me say it again. Fake masks work on makeup. Fake masks work on makeup, on pretense, on performance, on pomp and pageantry. That's where, do you see? We've all been playing a game for far too long. When we come forward, Zoe Williams is going to break it down even further. Let's keep it cooking. Is this making any sense to you all? I know, literally, it'd be the same people responding. It'd be people in the background that don't say a word. And I know my folk understand my lingo. But it's people in the background. I'm really happy, even though old girl from New Jersey, she hung up. But I'm really happy that we got callers from different places today. But I'm really like, Like, it just be people in the background that don't say shit. And I'm just trying to understand, like, do you understand the framing? What's being laid out in front of you? Lovable Quan, I know. You lovable Quan. You not one of them lurkers in the background.
You should tell me what I should do. I should write a book, or I should get in the book, what I should do. And he wouldn't. And so I got mad at him. And I said, why is everybody so mean to me? And he said, why are you so mean to everybody? So I told him out. And you got what I said there. I said to him, why is everybody so mean to me? And he said, why are you so mean to everybody? That was the trigger point. I was gone for a year. And I wrote, I don't know. Every now and then I'd sit down at the typewriter and write him what a son of a bitch I thought he was. And one morning I woke up and I began to laugh. I thought, God's sake, what's been going on here? What a you. Suddenly I realized, surely he really hit it. And so I phoned Miss Schmidt and asked if I could have an appointment. And she laughed and said, oh, yes, she said, Professor Jung told me to save some time for you. We thought you'd be calling shortly.
That is not Krishnamurti's sister. People are saying, is that Krishnamurti's sister? I said, no, it's not. But let me just, again, when the world acknowledges our outward expression, sometimes our inner quality gets lost in all of the pomp and pageantry. Sometimes we become addicted to the adulation, right? Of the world saying, you matter because of what you do. Inner conflict and inner work, right? In order to be exceptional and extraordinary at anything, right? There has to be some kind of inner connectivity, some type of inner fuel that drives one, right? Doesn't mean you're healed. It just means you have access to something within you, right? Now, if you go even further, the same thing that you tap into to help you achieve these outer goals is the same thing that could help you not achieve, but accept yourself as you are. Listen, I put together 10 foundational questions and tenets. The inner conflict decryption quiz. Number 1, the mirror of projection. Question: when you feel intense irritation towards someone's behavior, what percentage of that reaction stems from your unintegrated shadow material versus genuine boundary violations? How much of that is just unintegrated work as opposed to you crossed a boundary? Because many times the unhealed work is the garrison that patrols the boundary. Do you see? When you feel intense irritation towards someone's behavior, what percentage of that reaction stems from your unintegrated shadow material, Jung, versus genuine boundary violations? Tenet number 2. All outer conflicts reflects fractal inner war. Projection, no, this is the tenet, excuse me, I'm sorry. Projection decays only when you stop weaponizing others as mirrors for your own disowned selves. Listen, I want to say it again. This is the tenet. That was the question I read before. Here's the tenet. All outer conflict reflects fractal inner war. Projection decays only when you stop weaponizing others as mirrors for your own disowned selves. Here's the tool. Journal every triggered reaction for 7 days, then map patterns to childhood attachment wounds. This is Bowlby's work. We want to journal. Why did they trigger me? How did they trigger me? For 7 days. Number 2, the trauma time loop. Here's the question. How often do you confuse familiar pain, attachment to childhood neglect dynamics with safety, mistaking repetition compulsion, Freud, for intuition? That's the question. Here's the tenet. The nervous system cannot discern between trauma bonds and love. Our radical somatic awareness, Rothschild, dissolves this hijacking. Here's your practice. Pair breath work with body scans to disrupt amygdala hijacks. I'm trying to give you some game here. Right? Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Most of us confuse familiar pain, attachment to childhood neglect dynamics with safety. If I'm an avoidant, I get somebody who is somewhat avoidant. So I don't have to show up intimately all the time. Intimacy gets a break. Avoidants have intimacy vacations in order to, listen, do you understand? Are y'all listening? The quantum betrayal paradox. When you distrust others, what portion originates from actual betrayal versus epigenetic memories of ancestors' relational trauma? Bill Lipton. Here's your tenet. Your mitochondrial hold ancestral vows to never trust again. Listen, your mitochondria holds ancestral vows to never trust again. Rewrite them through vowel toning at 174 hertz DNA repair frequency. Ritual. Chant Om while visualizing lineage healing 11 minutes a day. Chant the Om. The Om is ours. It's all of ours. You hear the Om in the 808. You hear the Om in the Bimbe. Don't make me do it. Okay? Okay. The spiritual bypass trap. Question. Do your positive affirmations mask suppressed rage, Iyanla Van Zant, or perform self-gaslighting to avoid shadow work? We said inner work, right? Tenet. Fake forgiveness perpetuates karma. True healing demands screaming into the void until the void screams back. Pima Chodron. Here's your exercise. Write unsent letters to perpetrators. Then burn them with mugwort for ancestral release. Huh? The neuroplasticity deception. Question. Are your healing routines reinforcing neural ruts? I'm going to stop right there. Listen, I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. I'm the voice of reason. You already know what I does when I do it. Tomorrow, I'm coming back with another slapper. This week is going to be a week of Mondays. Let's get it. Yo, shit was lit. Hey,
Yes, sir.
you already know what to do. I'm out. Yes, sir. We gone. That was a great one. Holla back, y'all.